Candy Creek. My company is Market Makers. We're manufacturing representatives. Did everyone hear that? I'm going to Danny Creek. Hi, I'm Danny Creek. My company is Market Makers. We're a manufacturing representative. We do all the video here across the Southeast and retail stores. Thanks for looking at our today. And Honey is the immediate past president of TBA.
I'm Kristen Beaches, the Secretary of TBA. I also represent G2 Services, Commercial Floor Covering.
Good morning, everybody. Jonathan Clark. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and we work to help you achieve all your financial goals and dreams for individuals and business owners. Oh, and I'm membership chair as well. Okay, what I would like to do each month, I don't have my list in front of me, so give me one quick second. So what we'd like to do is highlight the people who are new members each month. And so at this moment, I'd like to say a great brief welcome to Signorama. They joined this year, so welcome to Signorama, Habitat for Humanity, and DC Visual Communication. So we have 3 new members this year. So and next month we'll give a highlight. At least one, if not hopefully many, many more. Oh, there we go. I really did. Right? Where'd you get some? So guys, we're growing, and as membership chairs, that's what we want to make sure that we are your place for networking and go to if you need or want any business that your business needs or your personal needs are, you can find it here in Tucker. And Tucker Business Association is the best place for you to go for those high quality referrals. So please join, get your friends to join in your businesses and come find us for membership. I will make a plug. I'm also the president of a local Tucker Rotary Club. And if you are interested in service and another way to network and grow your business, we will be at the Blue Ribbon Grill at 4:30 this afternoon for our Thirsty Thursday social event. So you can learn more about the Rotary Club of Tucker. All right. Thank you all for your time.
And last but not least, I'm Stephen Bentley. I'm the Vice President of TBA, and we're really excited to have you here, all the Zoomers. And I think that's it. Let us, I would say too, if you have questions out there in Zoom world, let's address the elephant in the Zoom. I'll be here all night. If you have questions though, I think one best way would probably be to chat them. I'll be checking the chat roll log here, as well as you could always just wave and let me know you have a question. So yeah, I'll keep it. Right. Yep. Okay. One second. Okay. So first, let's go ahead and we're going to introduce the Zoom people. Nate Martin. Well, Nate's actually on our board. We should have had Nate introduce himself already. Yeah, Nate, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Hey, hi, Nate Martin, NX2 Agency, Digital Marketing. I'm board member at large.
All right. All right. Okay, and next up, sorry, I had to just adjust the microphone. Dennis Lippy, would you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Dennis Lippy with DK Lippy Construction and Home Free Home Modifications. We can help you with your commercial needs and any physical challenges that you have.
Great, thank you. Next up, we have Donato Palumbo. Welcome back.
Hey, everyone. Donato Palumbo from Palumbo Law, right in Tucker on Brockett Road, specializing in divorce, family law, and all family law matters. Hopefully I get my second shot soon, and I'll be joining you guys in person next month.
Great. Thanks, Donato. I believe that might be everybody out in Zoom world, because Stephanie will get to speak plenty, so we'll skip you for now. Okay, now let's go to the room. Do we have? Stand up.
I'm Daryl Hubbard. I'm with Keller Williams Realty, so I'm a local person here, Tucker area.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Darren Gino. I am owner, or co-owner of Georgia Gifts and More. We just joined TBA today. We are the all you need, baskets, chopsticks, all those type of things. We can always work.
And then Tom,
I'm at Vincent First Christian Church of Atlanta. I'm the pastor, also one of the founders of the Tucker Community Action Team.
Hi, Elizabeth Dyson, Penny Geek, here at the publisher, our town Dekalb, your friendly monthly publication. And we are working on our April issue right now, Daryl. So if you are interested in advertising, please stop me and we can work it out for you.
and we have a visitor. You want to introduce yourself to us?
All right, I'm Kristen Stefani, the owner of Now DIY in downtown Tucker. We teach you how to create home decor workshops.
Very good. Nice. And you just had your ribbon cutting this past Saturday.
Yes, we do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
What do we do? Has anyone recently gone to a food court? Multiple people try to order, let's say, from 3 different restaurants at the same time. Have you ever done that? No?
Yeah.
So what happens currently when you go in, you have to go to each restaurant and order certain food separately for each person with you. We developed software that actually makes it customize it, really is. We have a piece of software that actually means you can go to one app on your phone, order from all 3 restaurants, push a button, then go with the food. So if you're doing that well, you know, if it's hot, we're in that area market, square up in your hand. That's my software.
Awesome.
Nice.
And you, sir?
Daniel Schindler, president of Performing Inc., it's my own consultancy in the largest financial services space. We audit compliance for policies and procedures, auditing companies, auditing their vendors, defending vendors who other companies in their audits, assisting in remediation, things like that.
We're happy to have you. Thank
A
you.
lot of data security increasingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
We appreciate having you. Anybody else?
Let's see. Yes, if we could have Tom Bianco, would you introduce yourself?
Hey, my name's Tom Bianco. I actually work with Steven over here at Thrive, and I just wanted to come kind of check out your lunch and learn here. Sounds like a really great organization. Love Tucker. Big fan of the Tucker Tigers.
Thanks, Tom. And next, John Furios, would you introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. I'm also a co-worker of Stevens, and he was gracious enough to invite a few of us on, and I'm proud to be part of the company. Thrive is, I think, one of the latest, greatest things that is available to you as a small to medium-sized business that'll really help you. And I'm here to learn and kind of observe.
Thanks, John. Just full disclosure, both those past 2 guys are my coworkers. I've been telling them about this association. They're like, can we come? This sounds fun. So tell your friends, tell your family. Visitors welcome. Yeah. Y'all's membership, your invoice is in the mail, Tom and John. So Thank you for joining. Here we go. We got a new. Sorry to put you on the spot, but. Nice. Thank you, Kristen. Thanks for coming. I think that is it. And then I think everybody in Zoom is accounted for. So, all right.
I have one little thing I want to say before I introduce our speaker today. We sent out invoices a second time, and some people are getting to renewing their membership. We've been making emails and phone calls. If you have not done so, please do so. All you have to do is go to tuckerbiz.org and either renew or become a new member. It's only $100 a year, and you get so much value for that, including our MOU with the Dekalb Chamber of Commerce, which gives you all the perks of being a chamber member at a special Tucker Business Association discounted rate. So you can check out the MOU information on our website as well, tuckerbiz.org. And to give Stephanie enough time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce her now. Stefani Strength has served as the Director of Operations with the Dekalb Chamber now since October 2020. In the chamber industry for over 14 years. She started as an intern with the and then she accepted a position as Vice President of Operations there at the Chamber upon her graduation. Stephanie is a Texas native. She has lived in Georgia now since 2000, and she and her husband Ryan live in Marietta with their 2 sons, 2 cats. And in her free time, she enjoys baking, traveling, hiking, and serving in her church. So Stephanie, we're very excited to have you, and we're excited to hear about the strategic plan coming up for the Dekalb Chamber and all the goodies that are happening. And we understand Trevor couldn't make it. His internet got knocked out in the storm last night. So Trevor Quanders, the incoming board chair of the Dekalb Chamber, will not be joining us today. So Stephanie, you get all the time today, and have at it.
And Stephanie, if you give me 1 second, I'm going to pull up your PowerPoint. Sorry.
Okay. No problem, Steve.
Are you doing that?
Yes.
Can you put a picture up like that?
Yes, I could.
There we go.
Yeah, I got to unpin us. My Zoom is, okay. My computer is kind of delaying. There we go. So sorry. Okay. Yeah, Stephanie, yeah, you can go ahead and kind of introduce yourself if you like.
Okay. Yeah. But can you hear me okay over there?
I know. Well, I've got to get the PowerPoint up. Sorry.
Well, first off, I want to thank you, Lori, and the rest of the Tucker Business Association board for having me here today. I know Trevor was going to join us. He is our incoming chair. He will actually be sworn in next week, March 25th. He's going to take over as chair of the chamber board. And he had some internet issues with the storm that came through last night. So he is not able to join us today. He's having trouble connecting. But I'm going to try my best to wing it. I have, like what Lori explained, I have been here with the Dekalb Chamber of Commerce since October of 2020. So I guess going on 5 months here now. And we've had a lot of changes even just since I've started. So I don't know, I'm not sure, Stephen, if the PowerPoint is up. I
Yeah.
can't.
I'm
It
about
is?
to, yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up on my end over here.
I got it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's perfect. So one of the things, I'm just going to jump last year and this year with some of the goals we have coming up for the chamber in 2021. So last year was a challenge for everyone, obviously, every organization across the country. And chambers of commerce were no different. Actually, chambers of commerce, because we are a 501c6 organization, we were actually not eligible for any PPP funding or any EIDL loans or any of the funding that was put out there last year in March and June. Chambers were not eligible for until actually this past January. They kind of opened it up for us. So it's been a little bit of a struggle for chambers of commerce and membership associations across the country. And I know many of you are maybe more familiar with the Dekalb Chamber than I am. Certainly a lot of you, I know Lori has served on the board. A lot of you have probably been members for several years or have been following the chamber, more familiar with it. So you may already know a lot of this, but the chamber itself, it's kind of been in a little bit of a flux over the past, I'd say, year and a half. COVID certainly did not help that at all. There's been some transition with staff within the organization, and the pandemic just kind of perpetuated that. So when I was hired in October as director of operations, we had one other staff member. I know many of you may know Rashay Brooks. She was serving as our marketing and branding director. And she did a great job at that. And she actually had taken on a lot of extra work. She wore all the hats because when I started, she was the only employee they had. So she did a great job kind of holding down the fort through the pandemic on her own. And Rashay actually has taken another position working with the city of Atlanta, with Workforce Atlanta, actually, in the end of January. So she is no longer with the chamber. It's back to one person. It's just me now, but I am excited to announce that the board of directors, they have formed a search committee, and they have been soliciting resumes to hire a president and CEO. They actually just met yesterday to kind of narrow it down to I think 13 candidates that they're going to go to the next step, which is the phone screening, and then we'll bring them in for interviews. We're hoping to have someone start no later than June. So it's an exciting time for the Dekalb Chamber. We've got a lot going on. When I started, I saw the need for kind of a little bit more structure to kind of lay the foundation a little more. And because of what had happened with the pandemic, there, hadn't had a lot of events, a lot of programming had been put on hold for last year, which was, the same with every organization out there. So it was kind of a prime time to sit back and really analyze what is it that the chamber needs to be doing. A lot of organizations have mission creep over the years. And so what they end up, programs and events they end up adding, at some point you might look back and kind of think, well, how did we even get here and why are we doing this? This isn't who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. So it gave us an opportunity to really take some time and sit back and analyze what exactly do we want to do. And so, Stephen, if you want to go to the next slide, we had in December, we held a strategic planning session with the executive committee. And the purpose was to kind of really come back and refocus the chamber and figure out what do we want to do. This is a good opportunity to get rid of some of the fluff, I like to say, or even things that maybe they're great programs or great events, but with the resources that we have right now, it's not serving our primary purpose. So, you'll see later on in the presentation, there are a few things that we've kind of put on hold, not to say that they're going away for forever, But it'll free our resources up to really refocus back on kind of why we exist to begin with. So you can see there our updated mission. We exist to support our business members and the economy by providing education, advocacy, and connection. So we kind of keep going back to that. Really that education and workforce development, advocacy with the governmental affairs, and then connection just with our membership and networking opportunities. Hopefully here soon they'll clear us to kind of start having in-person events again. But we're kind of looked through everything else through the scope of our new mission when we were making decisions on what to continue, what to add, and what to kind of get rid of or put on hold. And then our refined vision is to be the champion for every business, small and large, in DeKalb County. So that's a great vision. That's something that every chamber would continually strive to be and to become. I know that's you could probably put that vision for the Tucker Business Association and just stick Tucker, Georgia there instead of DeKalb County. But that's kind of why we're all here. So if you want to go to the next slide. And then I think the next one after that as well. And I'm going to open up. I've got a few more details on my side over here, so I'm going to open these up while we're going. So for our strategic business plan, Stephen, if you can go back to that last slide. For economic
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So we broke our strategic plan into kind of some main areas. One, obviously, being economic and business development. And then we have advocacy, education and workforce development, and membership. And those are kind of those main four pillars that kind of fall under our mission statement. And then we also added an area for organizational, realizing that this year is going to be primarily focused on it's almost like we have an opportunity to rebuild the chamber into something that we really kind of laser focused, mission focused, and try to figure out what do we want to be kind of this next phase of the Chamber of Commerce. So our goals for economic and business development, obviously to be an active partner with other DeKalb County economic development organizations. We want to create a network of economic development partners and meet regularly to increase collaboration. We realize that nothing happens in any community if all of the organizations that play are working in silos and not collaborating. You lose that synergy there. So that's something we want to focus on. We want to be more involved with Decide DeKalb and Advance DeKalb and the Tucker Business Association. And just all economic development organizations across the county. Want to kind of gain a better understanding of each organization, the work that they do, and see where the chamber can assist, where we can kind of come alongside them, and just build stronger relationships amongst the organizations, just to tie them all together overall. We also want to be a resource for small businesses in DeKalb County. We've re-engaged our small business committee to help assist us with this. And with that, we're looking at providing an education program for small businesses. That would be something we'd probably launch later this year. But we're also we're developing our strategic partnerships with Georgia Piedmont Technical College, with the SBDC and SCORE, and just some other organizations that are in the area, just to make sure that we have an understanding of all of the resources that are available, whether they're from the chamber or not. We want to make sure that we can give small businesses, if it's something we can't help with or a question we can't answer, we know exactly who to turn them to. So same kind of thing with what we want to do with economic development organizations. We just want to collaborate more with those organizations, and also develop small resource guides for small businesses through those partners. And then we also want to provide opportunities for economic development updates to local businesses and to the general public. We hosted with the Council for Quality Growth earlier this month. We actually hosted the State of the County event in partnership with them, the virtual event. And we are also planning on hosting later in the year a State of Economic Development event with some of our economic development partners. So we're excited about that. There's a lot going on, a lot over the horizon. Jeff Taylor is the chair of our Economic Development Committee, and he has already been meeting with Decide Dekalb and Advance Dekalb and building that relationship and partnership. And we're already starting to build that synergy. So that's exciting. And then if you want to go to the next slide, Stephen. So for advocacy, our main goals for advocacy, and a lot of this falls under the Governmental Affairs Committee, and then it'll also kind of fall on the shoulders of our president and CEO when we get one hired. But we definitely want to inform members on legislation that affects the business community by maintaining relationships with key elected officials, certainly inviting them to our events and our board meetings and make sure we're on the same page. And we want to also host we had wanted to host a legislative preview event, but timing didn't work out with the legislators. So we're going to hold a legislative wrap-up event in the summer, and that'll probably be in partnership with the Dunwoody Perimeter Chamber of Commerce and possibly another Chamber of Commerce here in DeKalb County. So it'll probably be a virtual event, but that'll give our local legislators and lawmakers a chance to be able to kind of update us on what happened during session instead of the legislative preview. They're telling us what they hope is going to happen during session. So we do also want to host a legislative preview event in December, getting ready for the 2022 legislative session. So hopefully we'll have both of those events this year. And then I'll also, communicate the current legislative issues with members. We've started a legislative update newsletter that we send out once a week to our members to kind of keep them up to date on legislation that's being discussed down at the Capitol and how it may impact their business. So they just kind of know what's going on. It's a quick, short summary, easy to read, easy to understand. So we've been working on that. We also are building our Governmental Affairs Committee to help develop legislative priorities. And you'll see a lot of what we're working on this year is rebuilding. So part of that is rebuilding our committee. Several of our committees didn't meet last year, so it's kind of re-engaging members and trying to recruit new members to replace some members that either may not be a member of the chamber anymore, or their interests have changed and maybe they've interested in serving on a different committee. So we're recruiting people to serve on the Governmental Affairs Committee, and we are developing a framework for the committee to be able to monitor the legislative agenda and a process for them to be able to kind of submit priorities to the board of directors to adopt. We're also going to offer opportunities for the business community to connect with elected officials. We're hoping to host the DeKalb County Day at the Capitol, but that obviously didn't happen. The public health guidelines are not allowing for visitors to the Capitol, so that has been postponed. We may be able to try to do a virtual one, but I think at this point, we're just going to have the post-legislative wrap-up kind of take the place of that. And then we have formed a task force to start preliminary planning to host a DC fly-in in 2022. So that's something we're planning to do probably first quarter of next year if everything goes well with the pandemic. And that's something that we're excited about being able to offer. I think the chamber did one of those probably 3 or 4 years ago. So we're looking forward to offering another one. And then also, obviously, constantly always advocating for and supporting legislation that helps businesses survive. So the board has issued several letters of support on upcoming legislation when it pertains to us, anything that comes across our radar that we can jump on that is just pro-business, that's something that we can support. We collaborate with the Georgia Chamber and with the U.S. Chamber on communication with legislators on those issues. And then also have the board approve position statements as necessary when things come up. And that's part of what trying to develop the framework for the Governmental Affairs Committee to be able to monitor the legislative agenda to help the board understand and be able to approve those mission statement or the position statements. And then if you want to go to the next slide, Stephen. So under education and workforce development, we want to be an active partner with DeKalb County education providers. And this goes back to kind of, you'll see a theme here. It's this connection, the relationships, the building the synergy, not working in silos. So just identifying the key education institutions and making sure we've got good relationships with our education partners to be able to connect the business and education communities. And then also to be able to communicate our education partners' priorities, communicate that to our membership as well. We want to be an active partner with workforce development organizations serving DeKalb County. Same kind of thing with economic development organizations. Same thing with the workforce development organizations. There are many out there. Start meeting with those and having regular conversation with everyone in the room, kind of figure out what we can do and how we can all partner to help take DeKalb County to the next level. And we also want to provide opportunities for education workforce development partners to update local businesses and the general public. We hosted in February it was really our first big virtual event since the pandemic. We hosted our State of Education and Workforce Development event, and it was kind of almost like a conference. It was a 3-hour mini conference. So that was virtual. We recorded all of the sessions. If you were not able to attend that, I encourage you to go to the Dekalb Chamber's YouTube page. We have put all of the opening session, the closing session, all of the breakout sessions. We put all those videos on the website there, and that was exciting. We actually had a student panel, and we had some students from the DeKalb County school system and from the City of Decatur schools actually able to kind of discuss and share how learning during a pandemic has affected them. And we've had a panel on higher education. We had a panel with the school system with K-12, kind of talking about safety in our schools and what that's going to look like going forward. We had an education with parents on how to parent virtual learners during a pandemic. And then we had a panel, I think the highest attended panel was our panel with our workforce development partners to find out what they're doing with try to promote workforce development during the pandemic. So I encourage you to view those videos if you haven't already had a chance. They're great. And Stephen, you go to the next slide. So under membership, one of our goals is to increase chamber membership. Of course, this is a goal for every association. This would be a goal for the Tucker Business Association as well. Always a goal to increase the chamber membership. We have engaged a membership committee that is going to work on this. I think they're talking about hosting a membership recruitment campaign towards the end of the year. But they've got some goals. They also want to touch base and regain some members who maybe have dropped their membership in the past 12 to 18 months, whether it was due to the pandemic or due to just honestly people not really understanding what's going on with the chamber with some of the turnover. I understand that the chamber it kind of seemed like it went darker, it went quiet there for a little bit, and I think a lot of people just didn't know what was going on with the chamber. So I think that has impacted us, and we're going to be working on trying to increase our communication and get back out there. And then I'll obviously also increase member engagement. We are going to develop an ambassador program. I believe the chamber had one in the past, but it's been several years. So we're going to re-engage an ambassador committee to help us with this, provide member benefits and programs and events that the business community will find valuable. And I have a chamber background. I've been in chamber work for 14 years, and I am a firm believer that the members vote with their time and money. And so if we are trying programs and events that we are struggling to raise sponsorship for, we are struggling to have people attend and engage or participate in, the members have spoken. So nothing is set in stone. Even if we have a strategic plan, we have a program of work that comes out of that. It's constantly in flux because I don't want to spend our resources trying to force something to happen that our membership is not interested in. If their needs are something different, we need to make sure that, we understand what those needs are. And we'll be doing that through surveys and kind of once things get back to normal, we want to do a lot of kind of meet our member visits. And I know I live in Cobb County. I haven't had an opportunity to meet a lot of the members of the Dekalb Chamber, just starting during a pandemic and working from home. It's been a little different kind of an experience. But we want to make sure that we're getting out there and we understand our members and what their needs are. And then also by providing, social networking opportunities, having our business after hours events. We've revamped our membership and we've created a chairman circle for a lot of our board members. So we're going to host chairman circle events, days of service, in addition to some of our normal events to be able to increase networking amongst our members as well once we go back in person. And then, Stephen, you can go to the next slide. So this is organizational, just kind of some fundamental things that we realized we need to work on. One is to ensure effective governance of the chamber. This is kind of a lot of this we're working on right now to increase board engagement. We're developing a board orientation. We are reviewing the size of our board of directors, and we are increasing our emphasis on committee engagement with the board of directors. We are in the process right now of amending our chamber bylaws, those kinds of things. We want to establish policies and protocols to address chamber operations. That's kind of me coming in as director of operations. I realized there's not a lot of procedural things that have been recorded. So I'm kind of starting from scratch and kind of coming up with the best, what I think it should be. But also just because that may have worked in Dahlonega-Lumpkin County doesn't mean it works in DeKalb County. So I've been running everything past the executive committee and they've been fantastic to work with, trying to help me understand the difference, kind of the different needs of, you've got a metro, more urban area versus Dahlonega-Lumpkin County, a rural community, small town up in the mountains there. So we are also we have an education foundation. We're going to review the foundation and to make sure we are kind of utilizing the foundation to its fullest potential. We're going to engage a finance committee and obviously create an operation policies and procedures handbook. We're going to enhance marketing and advertising of the chamber. This is a biggie. And this is one that is one of the more important ones, but unfortunately kind of got put to the back burner a little bit with Rochelle leaving because this is kind of her wheelhouse. So this one will come back to us, just taking a little longer than what we had hoped. But really creating a strategic communications plan to make sure that we have something in place to be able to get the message out to our members. I think that's what didn't happen last year. I know the chamber was doing a lot of work last year, but I don't think it was adequately communicated to the membership. So no one knew really what was going on. I'm going to create a marketing plan for the chamber. We actually are in the middle of working on a new website design. We're hoping to have that launched by the end of this month. But with Rochelle's departure, it looks like it may be kind of middle of April. It pushed us back a couple of weeks. So definitely hope to have that launched next month. And we're excited about that, to be able to simplify the information and streamline it and make it easier for our members to find. And then obviously we want to increase our fundraising, like with any nonprofit. We're hoping to host our golf tournament again this year. We didn't host one last year, but we're going to host the golf tournament this year. And we're also going to start what we call power lunches every other month. That those will be kind of themed lunch and learn type events in partnership with our committees. If you want to go to the next slide. And the next one after that as well. Can you go to the next slide, Stephen?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of what came out of the planning session, just in an easy to read chart. our community programs and events overview. So you can see kind of the different committees that we are keeping and what each committee is going to be responsible for. Our committees, we're kind of re-engaging them. They're going to be more working committees. So we tried to pair most of our events and programs under a committee. So you can see there, a lot of these I've spoken to. These have all come straight out of our program of work, our strategic plan. But you can also see to the right-hand side some of the programs and committees that we've either discontinued or we put on hold. So committees and events that we've put on hold is one of them as well. That's the Women Executive Leaders of Dekalb. We put that on hold or on pause this year. We put the Young Professionals on hold, and there was a Nonprofits of Dekalb committee, and they're on hold this year as well. And we still want to, still in communication with the former chairs of those committees, still want to make sure that their members are engaged. We want to make sure that we have women leaders and we have young professionals and we have nonprofits engaged on all of our other committees, our board of directors. We definitely need to make sure that they have a say and they have representation. But just with the resources, we thought, well, we can try to do a lot of things and kind of okay, or we can really laser focus and try to do a few things really well. So we chose the route to try to do a few things really well, and then as we grow, we'll re-engage these committees and events. And then you can see down there at the bottom some that they decided to discontinue. As my understanding is, some of these hadn't happened in maybe a couple of years anyways. One of those is the Sister City Tour, the Seeing is Believing Bus Tour, the Page Star Awards, Biscuits and Business, and the Tech Symposium. So those are ones that it may have been a little while since they've held that anyways, but they made the decision that, we're not gonna try to bring this back after the pandemic, because we've added several other programs and events for this year that we're hoping to do to replace them that kind of fall more closely in line with our mission statement. And I believe that is all I have. The next slide is just kind of I think our logo. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. The Dekalb Chamber, we're at a great place for growth. The board is excited about kind of what we have coming forward. We've got a plan. We are searching for a leader right now, and hoping to hire a third person by the end of the year. So that's kind of where we're at. If there are any questions, I will try my best to answer them. I know I haven't been here long, so I might have to get back to you on some of those.
Stephanie, we have one question from the Zoomers.
Okay.
The question is, what kind of impact do you think it will have on DeKalb County with Buckhead leaving the city of Atlanta and becoming its own city? Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I hate to say I'm not familiar enough to be able to answer that question. That's something I think that our Economic Development Committee and our Governmental Affairs Committee would definitely be interested in looking into. But that's kind of, I hate that I've been here for as long as I have and I'm not as familiar with DeKalb County as I feel like I should be. But with everything still kind of people meeting virtually, not being able to get out there and meet a lot of the members, a lot of our leaders. Unfortunately, I feel a little behind in those kinds of areas. So I'm sorry I'm not able to answer that.
When are the meetings, Stephanie?
When are what meetings?
The chamber meetings. You're having them via Zoom, I assume.
The board meetings, or just like a monthly?
Just general membership.
So they have not held those since the pandemic started. They didn't hold any last year. Those are going to be starting. So our committees, you kind of see we've realigned the committees. We've given the committees all have their own goals and objectives, and they are all kicking off with their first meetings the first and second week of April. All of our committees will be meeting with new chairs and kind of outlining the plan for the year with the committee members. And then we're hoping those monthly meetings will start again in June.
Stephanie, can you hear? Here, I'll just repeat it.
No, I can't.
Darren used to be a member of the Government Affairs Committee. Will you guys reach out to them for that particular government affairs to tell them when the meetings are?
Yeah, so if anyone has been a member of the committee in the past, we have sent invitations to who we have in our database as being a member of that committee. But I also want to put it out there, our database was not kept up like it should have been, and a lot of the information in there I think is outdated. So we've sent invitations out to the people who are in that group as being a member of that committee. But I also know that there are probably several people who have attended in the past, but were never added to that group. So if you haven't received an invitation, I don't know if you want to share your information with Lori, and she'll be able to email that to me, and I can send you the information and get you added back to that governmental affairs group or any other committee. But if you have participated in a committee in the past and have not received the information and the invite for the meetings in April, just let Lori know which committee that might be, and I'll make sure to get you added to that and get you the information.
Can I put this PowerPoint on our website, Stephanie? Our members only.
Yeah. So another thing, we are hosting on March 30th. We are going to, it'll be pre-recorded because it'll be soliciting videos from a lot of different people. But we're going to premiere on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, March 30th at 10 a.m., what we're calling the State of the Chamber. And it's going to, James Tusmanicus is our current chair. He will be past chair as of next week. But he'll be giving kind of a brief 2020 annual report. And Trevor will be going over a little bit of kind of the same thing I did here. Y'all just kind of saw a sneak preview, but kind of talking about what's coming up for the chamber. And we decided to do that because we realized that the chamber has kind of been silent, and a lot of people have a lot of questions. So we're putting that out there. And then actually right after that event, we're going to be emailing this to the rest of the members as well. So yeah, that's fine if you want to put it on your website. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for coming. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, Zoomers.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie.